In the cold, sterile hallways of General Hospital, the scent of antiseptic couldn't mask the stench of desperation. Martin Gray, a man who thought he'd finally untangled himself from the sticky web of Port Charles's most powerful players, found himself pulled back in. He stood over Drew Kane's hospital bed, a confused frown creasing his brow. Why was he here? Their business was concluded, a closed chapter he had no desire to reread. But Drew, even laid up and wounded, had a predator's instinct for leverage. "I need a lawyer," he rasped, his voice low but firm. "It has to be you." Martin scoffed, ready to walk away. "Our business is over, Drew." "Is it?" Drew's eyes glinted with a cunning that defied his condition. He dangled the bait, a name that he knew Martin couldn't resist. "What if I told you that you could save Stella?" The air crackled. Just like that, Martin was hooked. He watched, a mix of disgust and fascination, as Drew, with a single effortless phone call, dismantled the investigation into Stella. One moment, her career was on the brink of ruin. The next, she was cleared, reinstated, her life handed back to her as if from on high. Power like that was intoxicating and terrifying. With a sigh that felt more like a surrender, Martin agreed. "What do you need?" Drew's request was a chilling dive into the abyss. He needed an injunction, a legal wall to keep the PCPD's hands out of his personal safe. But it wasn't just privacy he was protecting. It was a dark secret. "There's evidence in there," Drew admitted, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "Evidence against Dr. Portia Robinson, enough to send her to prison for a very long time." Martin's blood ran cold. "That's blackmail, Drew. A serious crime." A ghost of a smile played on Drew's lips. "Then make sure they never find it." While Drew plodded from his sickbed, the gears of justice were already turning. At the PCPD, Detective Chase stormed into Anna Devane's office, his energy buzzing with a righteous fury. In his hands was the report on the contents of Drew's safe, the very evidence Drew was trying to bury. Anna, ever the composed commander, absorbed the information and made her own call. This was bigger than blackmail. This was about murder. Justine, the prosecutor, arrived, her expression skeptical as Anna laid out the damning piece of paper, a wire transfer from a Swiss bank account straight to the late Judge Heron. "It's a motive," Anna stated plainly. Justine wasn't convinced. A wire transfer from an account we can't prove is his to bribe a judge to rule against the woman he supposedly loves? It doesn't track. Chase couldn't contain himself. "It tracks if you know Drew," he bit out, his voice tight with frustration. "He only cares about what he wants, and anyone who gets in his way pays the price." Anna shot him a silencing look, a silent command to rein it in. She turned back to Justine, her tone measured and lethal. If a man like Drew paid a bribe of that magnitude, and that bribe was in danger of being exposed, he'd have every reason in the world to make sure the judge could never talk. The phone on Anna's desk rang, a jarring intrusion. It was the call they'd been dreading. Martin Gray had filed the injunction. A judge was reviewing it. If it was upheld, their bombshell evidence would be rendered useless, unadmissible fruit of a poisoned tree. For a fleeting moment, defeat hung heavy in the air, but then a glimmer of hope. It seemed Drew didn't know they'd already been inside his treasure chest of secrets. Turner, the DA, saw the opening. She could play dumb, approach Drew, and maybe, just maybe, get him to talk himself into a corner. As she left, Anna fixed Chase with a stern gaze. "This is becoming personal for you, Harrison. You're too invested." The detective's facade of professionalism finally cracked. "I need Willow to know," he raged. "She deserves to know she lost her children because of him." Anna's reply was soft, but it landed like a thunderclap. Maybe she already does. Meanwhile, on the misty gloom of Pier 54, a different kind of poison was being administered. Marco confronted his father, Sidwell, the man's imposing shadow seeming to stretch and warp in the dim light. "Did you kill her?" Marco asked, the words feeling like shards of glass in his throat. "Did you kill Judge Heron?" Sidwell's laugh was a dry, dead thing. "No, son," he said, stepping closer, his voice a venomous hiss. You did. You signed her death warrant the second you told Drew about the payoff, and she sealed her own fate the moment she took my money." He clapped a heavy hand on Marco's shoulder, a gesture that was meant to look paternal, but felt like a shackle. "What's done is done. The Judge Heron incident is closed, and you will never, ever betray me again."